Hi, it's Keith again, and this is part two of my two-part, I don't know if you want to call it a course or whatever it is. It's about, I guess we'll call it a mini course, about how to network for your job search success. In the first part one, and I hope you've seen that already, I talked about using this piece of paper here called your job search marketing plan as a tool to help you communicate with the people that you meet with, your contacts and such, and people that you meet. It's not meant for potential employers. It's meant to help you network with people. It's meant to help you communicate and help them help you. All right? And remember, you're not going to be giving people your resume. You're going to be giving people this job search marketing plan when you meet with them. You're going to be showing it to them. I'm going to talk about that right now. So as I mentioned, it's important to network with folks because about 60% of jobs are found through networking. Somebody knowing somebody, someone making an intro. I just had breakfast with a friend yesterday. He was laid off on 1 week, and then like a day or two later was talking with a vendor of his. He was given 2 weeks notice. And the vendor says, hey, we want to hire you. And so, that's a great example of networking. Somebody knew somebody. Also, about half the jobs are not advertised. Companies don't want to put it out there. They don't want to let the competition know. They don't want to get a bunch of resumes. For whatever the reason, they don't necessarily advertise these jobs. And so you're not going to see them online. And besides, spending all your time just searching for jobs online and only applying online is a tremendous waste of time. Spend no more than 2 hours a day doing that and spend the rest of your time making contacts, learning about jobs that are not online. All right. So right now, I'm going to talk about the things that you need to do in order to have these networking conversations. So you've already got done your job search marketing plan. And hopefully you've also started beefing up your LinkedIn contacts, anybody that you know, professional, wherever it might be, professional, personal. If you're in a church or a synagogue or a mosque, whatever it might be, people that you know through maybe recreational activities, get them all in your LinkedIn. You don't know what they do, but they could help you. Okay, you've got to do that. So. Let's say now that you have, you've got your job search marketing plan done, and one of the things that you need to do now, you need to just start talking to people about this job. We're going to do a little bit of role playing here, one person role playing, but we're gonna do it. And pick somebody who you know well, but maybe you haven't talked about employment stuff with. Have this first conversation with that person, so you feel comfortable, and you feel like. You don't feel too weird about having doing this networking if you haven't done a lot of it before. So pick somebody that you kind of know, but maybe they don't know what's going on in your life, that you're looking for a new role. And what you want to do, you want to fire off an email to them and say, hey, Joe, or hey, Mary, it's been a while since we last chatted. Would love to have coffee with you sometime and catch up. That's all it needs to say. That's all it needs to say. Don't get into a whole thing about how you're looking for a job or you're unemployed or you may be just don't do that. Don't do that. Just say, hey, would love to catch up with you. It's been a long time since we last chatted. Why don't we have coffee sometime? Person might come back and say, oh, let's do a Zoom instead. That works as well. Or you could propose a Zoom. I like it in person. I prefer it to be in person. It's harder for someone. I just think it works better for you as the job seeker if it's in person. But if it's Zoom, that works as well. We can make that work as well. All right, so what you're going to do now, you're at Starbucks or whatever the coffee shop of your choice is or wherever it is. And, Mary or Joe sits down there opposite you. Hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? So-and-so. It's like, hey, you want to start the conversation. You want to get them talking first. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is when you get somebody talking first, it is natural that they're going to want to reciprocate and hear about you. And you don't want to make it about you first. You want to make it about them first. Hey, what are you up to? I saw that, your child, got a scholarship. Like, just look at their Facebook, look at their LinkedIn, ask them some questions about new stuff, what they're up to. After, 10 or 15 minutes of this, the person is going to say to you, gosh, I've been talking for this whole time, Keith. I want to hear about what you're up to. So they're going to naturally want to hear about what you're doing, and they want to reciprocate because you've been asking questions about them. And this is where you bring in your job search marketing plan. And what you're all you gotta say is, well, I was I was working at so-and-so company, XYZ company, and we had a layoff. And so I'm kind of looking for something new, and I really wanted to get your opinion on something that I've printed out here. Would love to get your thoughts on it. Or you say, if you're still working, things aren't going so great, or I'm just looking for something different, and just trying to talk to folks. And I've got something here that I printed out. Would love to kind of get your thoughts on it. And remember, people want to help. If you say, I'd love to get your thoughts on it, see what you think. I trust your judgment. Would love to see what you think. And you're gonna just put this on the table between you two, and you're just going to talk about, say, so what I'm looking for, you're going to say is, I've had a lot of experience in this way and in this and that, and what I'm really looking for is a new role doing A, B, or C. Here's some things about, and it's on here, remember, you're going to be just pointing it out on here. Here's some things that I'm kind of looking for. I'm looking for a role as a financial analyst in a manufacturing firm. I'm kind of making this up, just make believe. I'm across the table from somebody, and in Atlanta, maybe companies, $50 million, $100 million revenue in manufacturing, and just trying to meet people and kind of see who knows who. And I've actually, I've got a list here of some companies, and I was wondering, did you happen to know anybody at these companies that I've listed here? My target companies. And you're going to just let that sit. You ask them, and you'll let them look at it, and don't feel awkward with the silence as they look at the list. Oh, by the way, let me say one more thing. Your job when you meet with somebody is to come away with 2 names, all right? You want to come away with at least 2 names of contacts from them, all right? Sometimes you get more. They know a lot of people. Sometimes they might just give you 1, but you want at least 2, all right? Remember, those 2 will then turn to 2 more and 2 more and 2 more, like the old shampoo commercial from a long time ago. I'm dating myself here. So anyway, you want to first ask them for these target companies that you've got down on your list. Remember, you've got target companies. You're not just saying to them, do you know anybody? It doesn't work like that. You have to give them something to work with. That's why we have target companies down here. You want like 50 of them if you can do that, even more if you can. And let them just look over the list. And let them just do that and just let the uncomfortable silence sit there. Let them think, okay? And then if they go, Keith, I'm looking at these, I just don't know anybody at these. And you say, okay, are there any companies that, if you were me, this is your second question. The first one was, do you know anybody at these companies? Second is, are there any companies that you think I should add to this list? Maybe they're in this group, they're in this industry, in this area, or just others that you might know about that you think would be good to look into. Just any of those. Again, let that sit. Be uncomfortable with the silence, all right? Let them look at it. Don't sit there and jump in if you feel like they're struggling. Let them think about it, all right? After a minute, they're going to go, you know what? They might go, well, you know what? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I think I know someone who works at a competitor of ABC company here. I think my neighbor does. They might come up with 1 or 2. That'd be great. And so if he says oh yeah, my neighbor works at so-and-so. If I were you, I would add so-and-so company to this. So let's say he says, oh yeah, my neighbor, my cousin works at so-and-so company. You're going to go, well, great. Could I get an intro to them? Would you mind giving me an intro? And they say, oh yeah, sure, I would do that. And then you can say, great, I will send you some copy that you can put in an email to send to them. You don't want this person just coming up with some email that talks about how you're looking for a job and they want to do an intro for you. You don't want them to mention job search in this email. People get weird about that. So you just want to just tell them, thank them, and then say, I will send you some copy to put in an email. Okay, so now they've done one. They've given you one name. They looked at the list. You say, hey, are there any companies that if you were me, you would add to this list? They might say yes. They might say no. Okay, let's say they say no. Now there's no one else. And then your last question that you're going to ask them is there anybody that you know who is, it just seems to be like a really good networker. They're always going out, going to events. They meet a lot of people. Anybody that if you were me, you would say, hey, Keith, you should meet this person. They just seem to be well connected and they do a lot of networking. And usually everybody has got somebody or, 2 or 3 people that are just like great networkers or always going out and doing. You want to meet those people. So that is your third area. Remember, the first area is target companies. Then it's other companies to add to the target company list. And third would be people who your contact knows who are just great networkers. You want to meet those people. So you remember, 2 names, unless somebody gives you like 3 or 4 names right off the bat, and you can kind of stop right there, you're going to probably want to go all the way to the third set of questions, the third question about who do you know that you think is just a really great networker that maybe you think I should meet? And people, again, they want to help you. They will give you this stuff. They'll give these names up for you. And so you're going to send this person, and again, you're going to thank, hey, I really appreciate what you've done. I really appreciate these names. I'll send you, you're going to say, I'll send you a couple sentences to put in a joint email introduction. So your friend is going to send an email to his cousin or whoever it happens to be, and he's going to say, and the email goes something like this. It says, hey, Mike, I was just having coffee this morning with Joe, and it hit me that you two might be great contacts for each other. I'll let Joe tell you more, but I wanted to make the introduction. That is it. That is it. And the reason that is, the more you get into stuff, the more the new person begins feeling weird. And it feels like they don't know if they want to do this. They don't know you. Oh, they're not in manufacturing. You don't know. You just don't want to do it. So just keep it real clean. Hey, Mike, I want to introduce you to this person. We had coffee this morning, and I was thinking that you two would be good contacts for each other. I'll let him tell you more, but I wanted to make the introduction. That's it. That is the entire intro email. Your person copies you, he copies a new person, and then you guys take it from there separately. That is all you have to do. And then when you meet the new person and you set up a meeting with them, you're going to do the same thing about, hey, what do you tell me about yourself? Yes, I'm glad that Mike introduced me to you. And, oh yeah, I saw that you're in this industry. And then you're going to go through the same thing with him or her. And you're going to go through this. Remember, 2 questions from everyone. You never know who knows who. So you just keep on doing meetings, and it will grow your network, and you will then kind of zero in. And while you're doing that, what you can also do is sort of look up in a new person, who do they know? You can say, oh, by the way, I would love to meet this person. Do you know them? Look in their contacts. If they know them, that can be a great contact. So that's kind of how you do it. You're simply replicating this whole thing about going through your plan, who do you know, do the intro, you meet with that person, plan, who do you know, new intros. And that's all it is. It's that easy. And after you get going doing it, it's going to be like clockwork. You're going to feel like a pro. Trust me, the first few times I did it, I felt, oh gosh, it was weird. And then after that, you become so smooth at it that people will be very comfortable with you conducting these and doing these and meeting with you because you're so comfortable. Trust me on that. So, let me mention one more thing. When you're if you happen to have these meetings via Zoom, do not send this to the person in advance. Don't send them the job search marketing plan to look at in advance. It'll just blow up everything. What I want you to do is still have the same conversation as if they were sitting across the table at Starbucks, but you're doing it via video. Get them to go first, get them to talk about themselves, all this stuff. The conversation will eventually turn around. It'll turn to you, and then you are going to say, you know what, I really would love to get your opinion on something, and then you can do a screen share. Do a screen share of this. And remember, on Zoom, your picture is up, the screen, the document will be here next to it, and you're going to have this conversation with them as if you're sitting across the table, but it's going to be on Zoom, and they'll be able to read this. Ask the same questions, go through it just the same way. The only difference is this is up on a screen. It can work just as well. Just keep cool, calm, collected. Just be relaxed, and everything will go great. Okay? If you have any questions about anything I have talked about, let me know. Remember, 2 names. You want to get 2 names from everybody that you meet. That is the goal. Some people, they might give you 1. You might have to get back to them for a second one because they've got to look it up or something. As things will balance out, you'll get 2 or maybe even more than 2. Keep a list of everybody who you meet with and who they introduce you to, because you're going to have to eventually you'll have so many people. This is a great thing. You'll have so many people that you need to talk to that it'll be like a job unto itself almost, but it'll be worth it because you will eventually get the job that you want by meeting lots of people and finding a job that maybe you wouldn't have known about because it's not advertised. Or what's even better, and I've seen this happen, you get introduced to somebody, your contact doesn't know that this other person is actually hiring for that position. So he goes to introduce you, and you have a call with that person. This has happened to me. You have a call, coffee or Zoom with this person. You say, oh yeah, by the way, I happen to be looking for this job. And the person goes, oh my God, I've been looking for somebody like you. Yes, we need to talk. And I've had that happen where I'm sitting across the table from somebody when I was looking for a new job, and I didn't know the person had a job open, and he didn't know really what the reason for my conversation was. And I remember it's like it was yesterday, and as we're chatting and stuff, and I'm now talking because it's my turn in the conversation, I see the smile cracking on his face. I'm like, what's going on here? And he says, it's funny that you mentioned this, Keith, because we're actually looking for someone just like you. And I was like, wow, I had no idea, and neither did so-and-so. That's great. Tell me about it. What are you looking for? It's a great feeling when that happens. And the more you talk to people and network, the greater chance of finding something like that. So anyway, that's it. Part 2. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear about any questions you have, your successes, how your search is going, anything that I can do to help you out. And that's it. Take care, and best of luck to you to finding what you really want out of life and your career.